that moment right before you have to do something big. Your heart is pounding in your ears. Your stomach is a knot. Your mind is just static. People think that feeling is a sign you are not ready, that you are weak or unprepared, but that is not what is happening at all. That feeling is not a character flaw. It is a system alert. Your brain has just detected a threat and it is switching drivers. Let me explain. Your brain is not one thing in charge. It is more like a committee with a very clear pecking order. At the bottom is the part that only cares about survival. Scientists call it the brainstem. Its only job is to keep you alive. It controls your heartbeat and your breathing. When it senses danger, it has one move. It hits the panic button. It floods your body with chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline. This is the fight or flight system. And when it takes over, it has the power to shut everything else down. Think about the last time you got really scared. Maybe a car swerved near you. In that second, you did not think. You just reacted. You slammed the brakes. That was your survival brain taking full control. It worked perfectly. But here's the problem. That same system fires when there is no real physical danger. When you are about to give a presentation, or have a hard talk with your boss, or step onto a stage. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a lion and a critical email. The threat feels just as real. So the survival brain hits that same panic button, and it immediately starts shutting down the parts of your brain you actually need to perform. It mutes the part that thinks logically. Scientists call that the prefrontal cortex. It is like the CEO of your brain. It plans, it solves problems, it makes rational decisions, but it is slow and it uses a lot of energy. The survival brain is fast and powerful. So in a threat moment, the survival brain says, I am driving now. It pulls the CEO out of the driver's seat. This is why you go blank when you are put on the spot. This is why you snap at someone when you promised yourself you would stay calm. You are not in control anymore. The faster, more reactive part of your brain is. People think winning in these moments is about willpower, about just trying harder to stay calm. But you cannot think your way out of a panic. You cannot reason with a system that does not use reason. Its only language is the body. So the first step to getting back in the driver's seat is not a mental trick. It is a physical one. You have to speak to the survival brain in the only language it understands. You have to change your body state. There is a direct phone line between your body and your brain called the vagus nerve. You can use your breath to send a signal down that line, a signal that says, stand down. We are safe. Try this. Breathe in slowly for 4 seconds. Hold it for 7. Breathe out slowly for 8. Do that just twice. Feel that? Your heart rate just slowed. The tension in your shoulders dropped a little. That was not you calming down through force of will. That was you manually switching the operating system. You are telling the survival brain its services are not needed. You are back in charge. That is the foundation. Before any strategy, before any plan, you must secure the biological platform. Because if the survival brain is driving, nothing else you try will work. It is like trying to give a presentation while someone is screaming fire in the building. You have to put the fire out first. That is the first rule of the hierarchy. Secure the base. Okay, so you have secured the base. You have calmed the survival brain. Now you are back in the driver's seat. But there is a problem. The feeling is still there. That tightness in your chest. That swirl of nervous energy. People think you should ignore that feeling, that you should push it down and power through. But that is the worst thing you can do. Trying to ignore a feeling gives it more power. It is like telling someone not to think of a pink elephant. What is the only thing you can think about? The pink elephant. Your emotions work the same way. The good news is you do not have to ignore it. You have a much better tool. You can name it. This sounds too simple. It is not. There is a part of your brain whose only job is to sound the alarm for threats. Scientists call it the amygdala. It is like a hypervigilant security guard. When it senses something uncertain or scary, it screams. It tells the survival brain to get ready. This creates that raw, overwhelming feeling. The feeling is the alarm bell ringing. Now, right next to this alarm bell is the CIO's office, your prefrontal cortex. Its job is to make sense of things. When you feel a strong emotion and you do nothing, the alarm just keeps ringing. It gets louder. But when you stop and find the exact word for what you are feeling, something incredible happens. You force a connection. You make the CEO pick up the intercom and talk to the security guard. The act of finding the word anxious or frustrated or overwhelmed pulls your thinking brain online. It forces the logical part to engage with the emotional part. Brain scans show this literally calms the alarm bell down. The amygdala's activity drops. This is not positive thinking. This is not telling yourself it will be fine. This is data processing. You are taking a messy, scary feeling and turning it into a single piece of information. A label. Let me give you an example. You are about to walk into a party where you do not know anyone. Your heart is racing. Your old approach was to pretend you were fine, to ignore the nerves, and you would spend the whole night feeling stiff and awkward. Try the new way. Before you walk in, you take a breath. You ask yourself, what exactly is this feeling? You dig past bad. Is it anxiety? Sure, but be more specific. Is it the fear of being judged? Call it that. This is social anxiety. The moment you name it, something shifts. The feeling is still there, but it is no longer a mysterious force controlling you. It is just a thing you are experiencing. It is a weather system passing through. You have created a gap between the feeling and your reaction. In that gap, you have a choice. You can still walk in, but now you are walking in with clarity, not chaos. This works for frustration at work, for the anger when someone cuts you off in traffic. Instead of snapping, you just say to yourself, this is impatience, or this is feeling disrespected. The label acts as a circuit breaker. It stops the emotional surge from hijacking your behavior. It gives the CEO back the controls. So you have done two things now. You have calmed the body and you have labeled the emotion. You have moved from survival mode into executive mode. This is where it gets really interesting because now your brain is ready to do its best work. It is ready to build the future before it happens. Most people wait for the big moment and hope they are ready. They rely on instinct and luck. There is a better way. You can pre-install the experience. Your thinking brain is a prediction machine. It loves to run simulations. This is what you are doing when you worry. You are simulating a bad future, but you can flip that. You can simulate a good future with so much detail that your brain believes it has already happened. Think about a skill you are good at, driving a car, tying your shoes. The first time you did it, it was slow and awkward. Now it is automatic. Why? Because you built a strong pathway in your brain. Every time you practice something, you are wrapping the neural connection in a substance called myelin. It is like adding insulation to a wire. It makes the signal faster and stronger. Here is the secret. Vivid mental practice wraps that same insulation. When you close your eyes and imagine performing a task perfectly in first person, feeling the sensations, hearing the sounds, you are activating the same brain networks as real practice. You are telling your brain, this is important. Make a pathway for this. So before that presentation, do not just vaguely hope it goes well. Sit down, close your eyes, see yourself walking into the room, feel your feet on the floor, hear your voice starting strong. Imagine handling a tough question with ease. Do not just see the successful end, feel the successful process. Do this 5 times. Your brain will start to recognize the real event when it happens. It will feel familiar, not foreign. This reduces the threat. It builds a highway in your mind. So when the moment comes, you are just driving down a familiar road. You are not bushwhacking through a jungle. This is how athletes train. This is how musicians master a piece. They combine physical practice with deep mental rehearsal. They are pre-activating the circuits they will need. They are giving their CEO a detailed script to follow. So now you are not just managing threats. You are building advantages. You have a calm body, a labeled emotion, and a pre-built neural pathway for success. You have stacked the deck in your favor. But there is one final piece. You have to know when to stop. You have to know when to stop. This is the part everyone gets wrong. People think winning is about grinding, about pushing through fatigue, about outlasting everyone else. But that is how you lose. Your thinking brain, your CEO, is not designed to run nonstop. It is like a high-performance engine. It needs to cool down. It operates in natural rhythms. About every 90 minutes, it needs a break. Not a switch your task to social media break. A real break. A mental disengagement. This is not laziness. It is a biological requirement. When you focus hard, you are burning mental fuel. You are building up waste products in the brain. One of them is called adenosine. It is what makes you feel mentally foggy and tired. Pushing through this fog is pointless. Your decisions get worse. Your reactions get slower. You are now operating with a depleted CEO. The solution is not more coffee. It is to step away, to take a walk without your phone, to stare out a window, to just let your mind wander. This activates a different network in your brain. Scientists call it the default mode network. It is like the brain's background processing system. It connects ideas in the background. It solves problems you have stopped actively thinking about. This is why your best ideas come in the shower or on a long drive. You are not working on the problem, but your brain is. It is integrating everything you just practiced. It is finding new connections. So the rhythm of winning is not a straight line up. It is a pulse. Focus deeply for 90 minutes, then step away for 20, not to scroll, to space out, to let the CEO rest and let the background processors do their work. This is how you sustain performance, not by willpower, by rhythm. So let's put it all together from the beginning. You are about to walk into that big moment. Your old belief was that you needed to suppress the nerves, to try harder, to just power through. Now you know a different sequence. First, you secure the base. You take that long, slow breath. You calm the survival brain by speaking its language. You get back in the driver's seat. Second, you name the emotion. You look at the nervous energy and you call it what it is. This is anticipation, or this is fear of looking foolish. The label creates a gap. It gives you choice. Third, you pre-activate the circuits. You spend 2 minutes vividly imagining the process going well. You build the neural highway so the real event feels familiar. And fourth, you trust the rhythm. You do not marathon your preparation. You work in focused sprints, then you step away and let your brain connect the dots in the background. This changes everything. Winning stops being a mystery. It becomes a process you can repeat. The broader truth here is so simple. Your mind is not some magic thing separate from your body. It is a physical organ with a clear design, a hierarchy. There is the survival brain, the emotional brain, and the thinking brain. Self-mastery is not about fighting the lower parts. It is about understanding them. It is about getting the CEO skilled enough to recruit the whole team, to listen to the security guard's alarm but not let it lock down the building, to use the emotional system's data without letting it steer the car. You are not trying to rewire your brain. You are learning to cooperate with its existing wiring. You are learning to be the conductor of your own internal orchestra, not just a listener to the noise. So look back at that high-stakes moment from the beginning, the pounding heart, the static in your mind. That was not a sign you were going to fail. It was just the opening sequence of a protocol you did not know yet. Now you know the protocol. The feeling is the same, but what it means is completely different. It is just step one, a signal to begin, not a signal to panic. So which of these 4 levers feels most missing for you right now? Is it starting with the body or labeling the emotion? Is it the mental rehearsal or the rhythm of focus and recovery? Tell me in the comments, because the thing that feels like your biggest obstacle is usually just the first step in a process you have not learned yet. And if you want more videos that explain how your brain actually works, hit subscribe. This is about understanding the rules so you can finally play the game.